Welcome, yogi, to this 10-minute yoga practice. In this session, we'll be focused on predominantly the quads and the calves stretching. So we're going to begin straight away in child's pose. Make sure you've got a blanket nearby for this session. And if your hamstrings and calves are very tight, you will probably also benefit from having your blocks. So child's pose is our starting position. Knees relatively close if you can today. Hands stretched out in front of you. And just soften your torso down. Rest your head on the floor, or if you prefer, you could reach for a block and place your head on your block. And let's take 3 deep breaths here to start off with. So this already stretching through the calves and the hips. Not the calves, I apologize. Quads and the hips. Deep breath into your low back and slow breath out. And rise up to a tabletop pose. So it's all fours position. Stack your hips right over your knees, your shoulders right over your wrists. If you'd like your blanket underneath your knees at this point, you could place it there for softness. Stretch your right leg back. Twirl your right foot around a couple of times, one direction. And then the other direction. Just waking up the ankle and the lower leg. And we'll place the right toes down on the mat and press back through your heel. And you can start to rock forwards on your inhale and back on your exhale to start stretching into the calf, the lower leg. Just a couple more of those, please, yogi. And we'll pick that right foot up and slide it forwards through to the thumb, moving the hips forwards and down. Again, you can cushion your left knee if you need to. So you're stretching more now into the left quad. Now, if you're feeling a little bit of tightness here, you could use those blocks that I mentioned to bring your chest up a little bit, or bring the ground up to your hands a little bit, and sink your hips forwards and down. On your inhale, you could lift up and out a little more, and as you exhale, sink forwards and down into that left front of the leg. Another deep breath in, and again. Lovely. Move your blocks if you're using them. Slide your right foot back behind you again. Pop your toes down and press back. I ran out of mat. Press back through your heel. Shift forwards and back. One more time. Release your right knee back to the mat and stretch your left leg back behind you. Keep your belly lifted as you start to twirl your left foot. It's going one way and the other way. Now we'll place the left toes down on the mat and rock back with the heel. Stretch your lower leg and forwards on an in-breath. Exhale back. And inhale forwards. And another time. Just keep on moving, yogis. That's it. And as you lift up, left foot comes up and forwards through to between the hands. Hips move forwards and down, and you might elevate your hands on blocks to really access the front of the right leg as the right hip flexor drops forwards and down towards the earth. Widen the collarbones a little bit. Use your exhales. You might come out of it a little bit on your inhales just to explore depth on the exhale. Lovely, yogis. Lean forwards. Move your blocks again. And we'll step it back first. Tabletop. Foot goes back. Heel goes back. And forwards. And back. And forwards. Just last time. And forwards and into a downward facing dog. So hands nearly as wide as your mat. Tuck your toes, lift your hips. And actively pedal out your downward facing dog. So that's one knee bending while the other heel tries to make its way towards the floor. So again, this is accessing the ankle and the calf predominantly. As you lift up the hips up and back as the heel tries to descend. It's okay if your foot doesn't go flat on the floor. If you're feeling a stretch, it's perfect. Another couple of pedals. And we'll walk it all the way up, bit by bit to your hands. At some point, you might need to lift your hands up. It's fine. Top of your mat, a forward fold. Again, blocks can be really nice in this if you're feeling some resistance in your legs today. Spine remains neutral and long. And we're going to soften the knees and send your hands forwards and up. Stretch up high. Reach it back a little bit to access the front of the body. And bring your hands down to your heart. So you're going to take this chance to grab your blanket and roll it up, please. Now, if you don't have a blanket, you could use a towel for the same purpose. As long as you make it, or you can grab a pillow, something that you can roll up and make a little position for elevation in your toes. I couldn't get my words out. That was actually a little high for me. This blanket's bigger than my usual one. So toes go up onto your blanket, okay? Heels are on the floor. So you've got a little bit extra flexion through the ankle that you might usually have. Send your hands back up, deep breath in, and as you fold forwards, you might need to reach for your blocks on this iteration because it really does stretch into your calves a little bit more deeply than usual. So just go down as far as you can comfortably. Don't force anything. We're going to take 5 lovely deep breaths here. Keep lengthening your inhales, lengthening your spine on your inhales, deepening on your exhales. Soften the forehead. Lovely, yogis, start to stand up. Step off of your blanket. Place your feet back onto the floor. Stretch your hands back up to the ceiling. Stretch it out through the front of your body. You could hook your thumbs together. Give you a little support as you reach back. And back down, hands down to the floor. You can now slide your blanket off your mat. Move your blocks again and step back to downward facing dog. So now perhaps you feel a little bit more stretchy in the lower legs. Last little pedal here. And then sink each or both of your heels equally. Like your feet are flexing. It's as if you could lift your toes up. Maybe you can, maybe you're on your toes, so it's more of an energetic expression there. But feel like you could lift your toes up and your tailbone up. Keep your shoulders elevated. Another deep breath. And we'll start to shimmy forwards to lying on your front. So you can take a chaturanga down there. You could lower yourself down any other way that feels good to you. Now, if your your quads are really tight, you can stay flat on the floor. Reach your right hand back for your right foot and gently pull it in. If you're a little bit more open in your quads, you're welcome to prop up onto your left forearm, lifting your chest up into Sphinx pose. Keep everything squared forwards, and that will deepen the stretch through the right quad. So either one of those two expressions, stay lower to the ground with your chest if you are really feeling a lot of tightness. Come up a little bit if you need a little bit extra. But don't force anything. 3 more breaths. Release your right foot. And then same thing, you could be close to the ground. And reach back with your left hand for your left foot. Or if you prefer, you can be propped up like a Sphinx pose. Then reach for it that way. Just gently pulling your foot in towards you. holding it any way that's comfortable. Your chest is pretty squared forwards. Press that left hip crease down towards the mat, like your outer left hip wants to wrap down into the mat. We'll take 3 more breaths. That's it, yogi. Carefully release your foot. Soften your way down to your front. And press your way back to child's pose. If you can, have your knees close. It will release your low back after that Sphinx quad stretch. And make your way up to a seat. You can kneel if that feels possible in your quads. If you prefer to take a comfortable seat cross-legged, you can. Place your hands together in front of you. If you have a little time to rest in Shavasana, this would be a good time to do so. If you'd rather do another short practice, or perhaps sit in meditation a little time. Together, let's take one more deep breath and let it go. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.